Hello, welcome back to Grey the Gold Witch. Today we're doing a reading on a message meant for you. When you find this is when you need to hear it. So there are 4 piles today. The first is the Serenity Stone. Sounds like the Sorcerer's Stone. Harry Potter. The second is Selenite. The third is Amethyst. And the fourth is Opalite. So take a second and pause the video if you need to and meditate on the piles. And I will see you in your reading. Hey, pile 1, if you chose the Serenity Stone, then this is your reading all on the message you need to hear right now. So I'm really excited for this reading for you guys. And what we're going to do first is we're going to look at a few oracle cards, and then we'll get into the tarot and go from there. So let's see what message Spirit wants to give you today. The first card we have is the Hierophant. I am ready to love and learn. And then we have the Second Bloom. A second chance, it's never too late, new possibilities. And then we have the New Pearl. Margarita Preciosa. The message for you is that I can see that you've been hurt by groups you've been in before, and Spirit's message for you is that you can find your utmost fulfillment in different communities and communities of people who share the same values as you. And you can have that inner fulfillment from the people around you, and it's possible. Because what I see is you've been hurt before. You've been surrounded by people who were dramatic and gave less than you gave and took more than you were able to give. And I see that you've been very drained by relationships around you. And what Spirit is calling for you to do is notice how you feel after you leave situations with people. Are you uplifted or are you drained? Because if the people are part of the community you're supposed to be around, you'll feel uplifted and empowered after spending time with them. If you feel fearful and anxious after spending time with them, that is an indication that they are not meant to be on your path right now. Spirit's really coming in strong with a message about community here for you. And I feel like you've been part of communities in the past that were not the right fit for you. No matter if they were bad or oppressive or toxic communities. They could have been fine communities where you were bored, or really it could be basically the communities just didn't align with you. And I feel like it made you a little cynical towards finding people that really can relate to you and are good people and care for you in a meaningful, empowered way. Now, what Spirit's coming in to say is that you will find this community, and some of you already have. I'm seeing that May could have been a significant month of meeting these people, and I feel like you have begun to open up to new groups of people in the recent past. And you've taken another chance on community, and you're trying new things. And you're being told not to stop. And Spirit's really coming in with the message that you and your integrity and your depth of character, because I can see you're a very complex, beautiful person. And if I'm sure that you enjoy spending time with yourself, because I can feel how enjoyable you are to be around and how beautiful your mind is and your heart. You're a beautiful soul. And what's interesting about pearls is that one kernel of sand, it sounds like popcorn, but one piece of sand is irritated and over time compounds inside of an oyster into this pearl. And it comes from irritation and conflict with its external environment. The sand is put through it to become this pearl. And I see that's what Spirit's coming in to say about your journey. This number also adds up to 44, so I can definitely see that's a significant angel number for you as well. And 3 also, triangle has 3 sides. It reminds me of community. And I think the community around you earlier in your life helped you become this pearl. And it was through conflict and people showing you what you didn't want to be to become who you are. And you are a very precious soul. And I see that these people that made you cynical towards finding groups of people molded you into this person that could be with the people who truly aligned with you and gave you the most fulfillment later in life. It's one of those paradoxes of life that's like, life's pretty good at playing jokes on us sometimes. But what Spirit's really bringing in for me to tell me is that you've been hurt before, you've been hurt by the past, and that pain still lingers. We still have reverberations of past pain, and that can show up in different experiences we have in life. And I think you've been trying to connect with communities of people who are aligned with you and really speak to your soul rather than people you've known forever. You're branching out. You're trying to find people who connect with you on a soul level, and it's working. And you're being reminded that just because things didn't work with past groups in the past doesn't mean that these relationships won't be solid and worthwhile. Because these relationships in the past were there to make you into this pearl. They were meant to irritate you and turn you into this beautiful pearl from sand. So even those past communities you didn't align with had purpose. But now you're at a place in your life where you're connecting with people who truly get you and they want the best for you. And you're being asked to be open-minded and willing in these relationships to put your heart out there and show this pearl that's formed inside you, because I see this is already there. You've very much formed into this beautiful person, and Spirit's saying it's time for you to branch out and show this to people. There's so many new possibilities for you in friendship and in life, and your past is not an indication of how your future will go. So it's important that just because one community didn't work for you, it doesn't mean this next community won't. And Spirit's really bringing this message to find you, because you deserve this love and community. Humans crave community. And in the modern world, it's imperative that we find what we're looking for, what our soul's longing for, because we have access to so many possibilities where we can find so many groups over the internet, in our waking life, in our towns, in our cities. There's people who resonate with you on a soul level and will brighten your life, and you're just being asked to go out there and not let the past hold you back, because the past had purpose and you have something important to contribute to the groups around you. And people want to be around you and feel your light and feel your beauty. And really, this is letting go of the past and having a beginner's mindset when you go out into new communities and being open-minded to meeting friends. This is definitely try new things, try to meet new people, try and make new choices for yourself. So let's look at the tarot cards. What does pile 1? Okay. What does pile 1 need to know? We have the 7 of Cups. Okay, too many, but the Sun. Okay. We have the Tower. We have the Queen of Cups. Make sure these are in frame. Spirit's coming through to say that you have so many more options and so many more possibilities than you even realize. There's so many groups that and different communities you can join and different people you can get to know and love. With the Sun card right next to the 7 of Cups here, I see that your fulfillment could be found in many different places, and you're being asked to open yourself up to this. There's an openness that Spirit's really calling you to have towards other people and towards what truly fulfills you. Because it's possible for you to have this happiness. It's a matter of going out there and Spirit's coming through to say that the people who've hurt you in the past, you're not meant to go back to them. The people that have made you disillusioned and scared to meet new people, they're in the past. And the kind of person you're meant to find right now is someone who's nurturing and loving and respects you for being you. And I really feel like you're meant to find these people through a community that shares the same values as you. In the past, you might have been brought together in school or by family with people who didn't have the same values as you. And to find people who really share the same beliefs and values, that's where your fulfillment lies. And I'm hearing trying the same thing over and over again leads to the same results. So don't go back to the people who treat you badly. Move forward and know that you have a beautiful cup to give people, and those who didn't see that in the past aren't worth your time. You're a beautiful light, and you have so much to offer any community you step into, and people are lucky to spend time with you, and you're being asked to treat your time and energy as sacred and give it to the things that really matter to you and that you care about rather than any obligation or any people-pleasing. You get to choose how you spend your life and your day-to-day. And I can tell that you really know who you are and what you care about and what you love. You are pulled to that on a constant basis. And you're meant to pursue that and find groups of people who feel the same way. The past does not define you. It was an experience and it's over. And all you can do is move forward, pile 1. I love that the 7 of Cups looks like genie lamps. I think really whatever you wish for and want to find fulfillment in, you can find it in. It's just a matter of believing in it and trial and error and knowing that you're gonna have to put yourself out there for these experiences, but it's so worth it because what you want will come true. And whatever was meant to fall away in the past was meant to fall away for a reason. It made you into this beautiful person. And I really feel you have a very strong character, and anyone would be lucky to know you. And yeah, I feel like you were kind of metaphorically like a mermaid around people who are walking and they just didn't understand, and you can find your mermaids. They're out there. And I'm hearing the phrase, the wolves who don't howl won't find their pack. So you're meant to be who you truly are, with complete acceptance for yourself and love for yourself, and know that there's communities of people who do the exact same thing. And once you find this, you'll find your serenity. You have a second chance at finding, or third or fourth, or you have numerous chances at finding the right group of people for you. And Spirit's really saying that this group is out there and this is in your future. And leave the past in the past and move forward. I'm seeing a sunrise right now, so I'm really seeing a new day, letting go of the past, moving forward. And you're very protected during this time. So let's look at the oracle cards. Remain positive. Conjunction. I will walk around more, or I will ground myself more. I will walk on grass the next moment I can. The Pilgrim. Damsel. Light attributes, understanding the nature of healthy romance, inspires you to rely on yourself. Wow. Since it came up in the upright, I'm reading the light attribute. And receptivity. Pile 1. You are so protected and so loved, and remain positive because things are really working out and things are coming into alignment for you. And what I see with the conjunction card is that in its light attribute, these two planets respect each other and notice the differences between each other and can coexist in harmony. It's like the definition of an interdependent relationship. But in dark, the planets kind of mimic codependency, where they kind of merge into each other and lose sight of themselves. And maybe that's what you fear happening. But as long as you find people who share the same beliefs and really resonate with you on a soul level, you're going to find this harmony and the light conjunction, and that's what you're meant to have. So stay positive because that's what's coming for you. I think you're being asked to spend time in nature as well, and maybe you'll find these people on hikes or doing physical activity, I'm not sure. But there is sign of movement here, and sign of the outdoors in a few of these cards, so take it as it resonates. But the Pilgrim's all about travel. And maybe you'll meet people traveling as well. There's so many possibilities. There's endless possibilities for you finding this community. All you have to do is believe it's out there for you. And you're being asked to spend more time outside regardless, because nature is healing. And I love that this person's sitting out in nature meditating and ascending through this. Be receptive to the fact that this love can enter your life. All you have to do is open up your arms and let it come. And what I see with the Damsel card is the reason you had this difficulty in the past was because it was in your destiny to learn how to rely on yourself. You were meant to heal through the codependency and heal through community that didn't suit you. And now it's time for you to find the community that aligns with you. And if you already know where this community is, you're being asked to be receptive to it because you found it for a reason. And this community I can see in the energy of this pile that it will be your anchor and allow you to feel freedom. Even within the community, you're going to venture, you're going to have absolute freedom to do what you want to do. But this community is like a home. And I'm seeing movement, whether it be physical or mental. This community will allow you to learn and grow, whether it be physically or mentally. So it could be out in the real world or online. Take it how it resonates for you. But regardless, I am seeing you're being asked to spend more time outdoors. Pile 1, you're very, very blessed, and I see just very exciting experiences coming in for you, and you really feeling grateful for stepping out of your comfort zone. And I'm seeing that this is fated, that you're meant to come into contact with these people and people with the same values as you, and you're being asked to remain positive and open to letting these people into your heart. You can rely on yourself. You've learned how to have this healthy reliance on yourself, and now it's time for you to let people in. That's what I'm seeing. That's what the cards say. And the message that was meant to find you is that this will lead to your highest fulfillment and abundance, and this is going to be great. You're going to have a lot of fun. So, yeah, Pile 1. I'm excited for you. This is a very uplifting message. So, this is all I have for you. It was an honor to read for you. Like and subscribe if you want to see more of my readings, and I'll see you in another video. Bye. Hey, Pile 2. If you chose the selenite, then this is your reading on a message meant to find you right now. So we're going to first look at the oracle cards, and we're really leaving this up to Spirit about what they want to come through with and tell you today. So let's get into it. We have Temperance. I find clarity through calm. Then we have Come to me, attracting like a rose, receive abundance desires. And then we have Breath. Pile 2, the message that's meant to find you right now is to come back to yourself and to center yourself. The first thing I'm really noticing is that Spirit wants you to practice moderation. And this makes me feel as though maybe you've had an all or nothing approach to your life. Like, I either have everything or I have nothing, or everything's good or everything's bad. And you're learning how, in this next chapter, or where you're currently at, your lesson in life is to learn how to live in that gray area. For it not to have to be one of the two extremes. And I love that this woman is sitting in the water, or standing in the water, and also is pouring this water between the two cups. It's about balance and finding it in your natural state and finding balance. I'm thinking of how Native Americans were they took hunting as a very sacred act. And when they would kill a bison or a buffalo, they would do it rarely. And when they did, they would use every part of the bison or buffalo. They would utilize it and nothing would go to waste. Nothing that they hunted would go to waste. And they would thank Spirit for giving them the buffalo. It was a very sacred act of hunting. And then people came to America and people who came from Europe migrated here and killed buffalo for sport, and they became endangered, and they would kill as many as they could. It just was horrible and completely the opposite way that people who were native to America practiced hunting. And I'm thinking about this because I feel like in capitalist society, we have this mentality of more, more, more. Like there's a need for more, always finding more, searching for something to satisfy us, to fill this hole. And I think you're being asked in your life to practice a sacredness with everything you do. And this is an everyday effort. This isn't something you just one day flip a switch and do all the time. This is changing how you perceive your reality and realizing how blessed you are, and that you're in a society that wants you to be constantly yearning and searching for more and finding things outside of yourself. And I really think that Spirit's coming in to say that you don't need to keep searching and looking around aimlessly trying to find these things to satisfy you, that they're already within you and you will receive them from Spirit. I'm thinking about, I love how this says attracting like a rose, and roses are naturally attractive to bees because bees need their pollen, and humans love to look at them. And a rose doesn't have to do anything but be itself to have what it deserves come to it. And Spirit's really saying that you are a magical human being. You are a magical living creature that all the good in the world you're deserving of. But you might have a perspective where you think you need things that you don't actually need. And you're being asked to come back to basics and come back into yourself and get perspective on the fact that you're alive. I love the breath card because it talks about the magic of living, and it's the concept of merging the physical and the mystical. And our breath is the easiest way to find this. Like the breath is a very sacred thing. Like the fact, I'm like breathing heavier now. The fact that we have the capability to breathe, and it defines the fact that we're a physical being living a physical experience. We're no longer just energy. We've become something solid and tangible. And the state we're in, like where we have these hands and these things, it's impermanent. And I think you might have a more rigid view on the world based on the structure of the society we've grown up in and lived in our whole lives. And you're being asked to reframe your mind to be comfortable in the gray area of, hey, maybe not everything's great all the time, but not everything's bad all the time either. We're in a happy medium. And your goal right now is to live in this gray area and believe that you deserve everything you need and your heart craves and your soul longs for. Because you deserve it just by being alive. You really do. And there's things our egos get caught up in, like, oh, like with that buffalo analogy, like, I want to be the best hunter, and which that's disgusting. I'm not a fan of, I won't get into it. But anyway, when you approach it in the way the Native Americans do, where they treat the buffalo like a very sacred communion with spirit, where all their needs are being met, and treating life in this sacred manner, you'll have a lot more fulfillment. But if you have the perspective that because everyone else has more, you need more, you're not going to find what you're seeking, because nobody has everything. And we can easily look and compare what other people have, and it's misleading because they also are looking and comparing what they don't have too. It's a never-ending cycle. So if you can come back into yourself, and you can do this through breathing exercises or meditations, you're going to find much more fulfillment and satisfaction. One message I'm getting immediately is having flowers around your home could really heal your soul. And it's a very simple act that you could do to show yourself you care for yourself and put beauty in your life. That's something I see very clearly. Flowers for sure will lighten your soul. And it's these simple acts we can do to find moderation and balance and make our lives more blissful, because it's more simple than capitalistic society conflates it to be. And advertisements and all of these things telling us how to feel and what to buy and what to do. When we come back into ourselves and let things be simple, we find a lot more peace. So, yeah, file 2, that's a really cool message that this is a constant act, and it's not something you just decide once. It's you make the reprieve. You have a daily reprieve every day with spirit, where you come back to this mentality. Okay, let's look at the tarot cards. What do we have for pile 2? We have the 9 of Swords, the Queen of Wands, the 8 of Coins, and the Ace of Coins. So the 9 of Swords is a very fast-moving card, and it's a very ambitious court card who the 9 of Swords does remind me of this more kind of message we've been seeing throughout this reading. And the Queen of Wands also has this vibrancy, but it's more so with the Queen of Wands is confident that she deserves the blessings that enter her life, and is confident that what is meant for her will find her. She attracts what is meant for her. So the message meant to find you is you're meant to get out of this anxious feeling and find a way to be confident in believing that what is meant for you will find you. And I'm seeing that a very simple way to do this is just to be consistent in your work and in your day-to-day routines, and knowing that what is meant for you will find you as long as you keep working on it. Because I see opportunity here for you, and definitely expansion in your career. But you're being asked to look at your career more from a sacred place of believing that everything you need will be met, and all of the abundance and sacredness that life has to offer will meet you, like the analogy we've been discussing, rather than looking at it from a place of lack. Yeah, that's the thing. When Native Americans hunted, it was from a place of abundance. They knew they already had everything they needed. And when Westerners came, it was from a place of lack, and they felt like they were filling a hole. So this is you learning how to get into this abundant mindset, knowing that your needs will be met, and knowing that just by being alive, you're a living miracle. We are all living miracles. Like, it's so funny, when I visited New Zealand a couple years ago before the pandemic, and it was beautiful. New Zealand's like, I've never seen anywhere like it. It's magnificent. But I was talking to locals there, and everywhere you go there, it just is like a picture out of a painting. It's every landscape is flawless. But the people who live there have gotten so used to its beauty that they've been, what's the word? They've been Spirit, what's the word? They've been desensitized, that's it, to the landscapes around them, and they don't see the beauty in the way that somebody who comes from somewhere less beautiful would just be awestruck. Like I was awestruck. So I feel like that's how it is to be alive, because we are alive and everyone around us is alive and whatever. We become desensitized to how much of a blessing this life is. And I really feel like a lot of our beliefs and how we perceive the world are a product of our experiences and our upbringing, and we're going to perceive society through the lens of that society. And you have the power within you to shift your mindset to feeling like you have to go out and achieve all of this, to letting it come to you and attracting it while you do your work. Doing your work is enough. And I see when you are in this natural cycle and flow, that's when abundance will come for you. It's finding this moderation and this gray area of setting the tone of your day-to-day life. Everything you need and everything you want is coming to you. It's how you choose to look at it that matters, though. And the message Spirit's really wanting to come in is that all is well. And I'm hearing the phrase, what if this were enough? I feel like you are a very ambitious person who is going to accomplish amazing things. And this is very clear in the cards. But you don't need to be so hard on yourself about it. And I think you needed this message from Spirit to get some relief, because always searching for more is kind of like running on empty. And coming from this place is much more empowered and peaceful. You've already done incredible things and you'll continue to. And if you truly believe that, you can sit in this place of the Queen of Wands and live with more harmony and happiness. So let's look at your final oracle cards. We have, when I start loving myself more, the universe will begin to show me abundance. Anima Mundi. Unlikely. Application. Midas Miser. And T-square. This is a really cool spread. I love that this card came out because it really reiterates coming back into yourself and finding peace within yourself, and that's how abundance will find you. By loving yourself more and loving yourself for who you are in this moment, you'll begin to see the abundance that's around you and begin to attract more to you. And I love that we were talking about this all or nothing approach, and then Midas and Miser came out, because that's the dualities of everything and nothing in this card. And with the unlikely card here, I see that you might sometimes work from this Knight of Swords standpoint, because you catastrophize what might happen in your career or in your environment. And Spirit's coming in to say that these things you fear are very unlikely and everything will be okay. And with the application card, this is very similar to the Eight of Coins. just continuing to grow this tree and work from what you've already learned. That is your key to success. With the Midas and Miser card here, I see that you are going to accomplish beautiful things and have this abundance, but you don't have to oscillate between these two fears, these highs and lows. You can come from an empowered place of knowing that you know your stuff, you know what you're doing, and as long as you are confident in yourself, you have nothing to fear. It's by coming back into yourself and loving yourself more and seeing what you've accomplished that you can do this. And with Anima Mundi, this is treating every experience as a learning lesson, accepting all, rejecting none, knowing that everything in life has sacred purpose, whether we can see it from a human lens or not, and knowing that your path with Anima Mundi, it's very clear, is in your highest good. There's a lot of beauty in your future. But this mindset shift is very important for you, because when you have this abundance come in, you need to see it in the correct lens. And if you see it from this all or nothing place, you won't have the true fulfillment you were seeking. And with the T-squared card, this talks about conflict and opposition. And I'm seeing that sometimes maybe the people you surround yourself with confuse you about your purpose and confuse you about what you bring to the table. And you're being asked to love yourself and expect people to treat you with the respect you treat yourself, and don't let other people's insecurities affect your sense of self. There's something about self-reliance here, and I'm hearing Gotta Go My Own Way from High School Musical, so that's something. Also, never be limited by other people's limited imaginations. People in society, maybe people you grew up around, probably had this mindset towards life, and so you were conditioned into it. People you surround yourself with right now even could have it. And you're meant to just do your work and believe in yourself and let go of these beliefs. Because T-square also reminds me of individualism and being true to yourself. So right now it's important for you to trust your own guidance and know when people are coming from a fear-based mindset, and know when their opinion isn't worth your time. I love the saying, if you wouldn't trade lives with them, don't take advice from them. I think that's very true. And things are going to go great. This tree is going to grow. It's just how you perceive this tree growing. It can be a lot less stressful for you, just by knowing that it will grow rather than worrying about it constantly. I think that's kind of the overall message of this pile. So yeah, pile 2, this is a beautiful reading, and you're being asked to see yourself like a star in the sky. See your beauty, see your magnificence. You're more magical than you think. So this is all I'm seeing for you. It was an honor to read for you. Like and subscribe if you want to see more of my videos, and I will see you in another reading. Bye. Hey pile 3, if you chose the amethyst, then this is your reading on the message that was meant for you. So let's get into it. The first card we have is the Star. I'm inspired and positive about the future. The second is the Thorn. Protection, boundaries, clear communication. And the third is disillusion. So immediately, tapping into your pile, I'm hearing from Ella Enchanted, whenever she's singing, I'm not going to try and do it, but she is singing a vocal range, and then all of the rats and pigeons and animals around New York City come to the apartment and help her clean up the apartment she's in. No, it's not Ella Enchanted, it's Enchanted. Sorry, both of those movies might have significance to you. So, what I'm seeing, the message that was meant to find you, pile 3, you are going through like the utmost of glow ups. Like, when you get through this, you are not going to recognize yourself, and that is pretty astounding. You're ascending right now, frankly, into the person you were meant to be. And this might be a process you've already been doing or going through, or one that's just beginning, but this is what you are going through right now. And if your life is feeling completely disorienting and friendships are falling away and everything is not like it seems, I'm hearing the Wizards of Waverly Place theme song in my head. Sorry. Weird. I'm also hearing I'm getting some downloads of some shows I watched when I was a kid. So, yeah. This card is all about dissolving your ego, and the self you once knew has disappeared. And I see that you're really coming into your confidence in this time, and that you're going to be setting boundaries with people. You're going to be trusting your gut over everything, and you're putting yourself first. And you're having a rise in your abundance in all forms. But as this happens, life as you knew it is completely shifting. That's very clear. And you're dissolving to unite with your true self. And whatever is falling away, let it, because this is in your highest good. And you're going to come into a ton of abundance from this ascension. And you are going to recognize your worth, know your worth, and not take less than you deserve. And I feel like maybe when you were younger, you were a people pleaser, or I see this person with a very big heart who has so much love to give and could never find anybody who really matched their inner beauty. I mean, when you think about the character, or Amy Adams' character in Enchanted, she's like this beautiful, like whimsical princess from a fairy tale, and she ends up in New York City in real life. She was once animated, and then she's in the reality of life, and she has to learn how to set boundaries with people who are more disillusioned and cynical. And I think when you were younger, you had that spirit of innocence and happiness, and people treated you badly because of it. But you haven't let it affect it has not affected the strength of your soul and your heart. And I really see you only putting up with what you truly deserve. You're like a warrior for yourself. And the more you do this, and the more you surrender to this process and becoming who you truly are, you're going to shine like a star. And you're going to come into prominence, whether it be in your community or in the larger public as a whole. Take it how it resonates for you, but you're coming into some major prominence. And you have to let go of your ego identity of who you were in the past, because it doesn't align with who you truly are and the power of your soul. And past experiences of people treating you badly, mistreating you, second-guessing you, whatever it might be, disrespecting you, those are learning lessons, but they do not indicate anything about who you are now. And those past experiences, you're currently healing through them and dissolving them. And the self that you're becoming will never have that treatment, and will never put up with that treatment. And this feels like you're finally stepping onto a pedestal and not coming down for anybody, regardless of your history with them. I can see that this time is a bit overwhelming, because you are learning how to protect yourself, but also parts of your past self are falling away from you. You might be interested in things you weren't interested in the past, or focused on things you weren't in the past. I think your livelihood as a whole has shifted, and you're in a new chapter, and your future is so inspiring and passionate, and I see amazing fortune coming to you, and beauty and happiness. And I just see that your soul is so strong and your heart is so pure. And those movies coming up immediately when I got into your energy of Ella Enchanted and Enchanted, I mean, those are beautiful souls that are shown in the, oh my gosh, and in Ella Enchanted, she always does what she's told. She's cursed and does what anyone tells her to do. And I see that you aren't doing that. You are putting in boundaries. You are communicating your needs. And this is bringing you fully into your power. You're going to be unstoppable in this next chapter. I see whatever you're going after, you succeeding and achieving. But this is the message that's meant to find you, is that parts of your past ego identity are falling away. And this is what's happening. You're ascending. And don't let anyone around you tell you otherwise. You are a very bright soul that this was meant to happen to. And the more you assert yourself, the more you'll come into your power and follow your life path. So, wow. That's a heavy message, pile 3. So let's get into the tarot cards. I'm going to shuffle them. That's pretty good. That was fine. So let's see, what messages does pile 3 need here? The Wheel of Fortune, the Hermit, the 7 of Pentacles in reverse, and the 2 of Cups in reverse. Oh my God, pile 3, you are a very, very powerful soul. Okay, so I think you went through I'm hearing you went through being around negative Nellies when you were younger, and the wheel has turned in your favor, and life is really going to be shining its abundance on you. And the main message that Spirit wants you to know is it's okay to walk this path alone and have solo time, because in your inner reflection and when you're focused on yourself, that's when you will grow. That is your germinating. I don't know why that word was just used in my brain. You're like a seed that needs its space to grow. And I'm seeing that you have had dreams of this abundance in this future, of your worth really being reflected externally, because I can see you have this beautiful heart, but you went through all of these challenges that made you second guess yourself. But I'm seeing with the 7 of Coins in reverse that the life you imagine for yourself is coming in quickly. And it's going to be fast. The more you assert yourself, the more you know your worth, the more you surrender to letting go of parts of yourself, the faster this will come in. With the 2 of Cups in reverse, I do see relationships you care for not aligning with you in this new chapter, and you might have to sacrifice some connection for your greater good. And that's a really hard like a pill to swallow, hard message to hear, but it doesn't mean your past won't align in the future. It just means for you to get into this new reality of your happiness, you really have to prioritize high level, energetically high level relationships and people who match you and sustain you and make you feel more empowered when you're with them rather than drained when you leave them, if that makes sense. Pile 1 might be significant to you. That has a lot to do with community, but this pile 3, all has to do with your personal power and the fact that your time to shine is coming soon. And everything you dreamed of and hoped for as a little girl or boy is coming true. But this comes with sacrifice, and the sacrifice is surrendering past parts of yourself, surrendering past relationships, surrendering how you perceived the world. To have an ascension like this, you've already gone through an ego death for sure, so you definitely see the world in a new way than you might have in the past. What you went through and the difficult circumstances you went through have turned you into this powerful person and given you grit, and your time really is coming right now to shine, and you're in a completely new chapter of your life than you ever were in, and you're going to be unstoppable. Pile 3. This is very clear, and I think you're just being asked to have an open mind going into this and prioritize your self-respect and what you know you deserve over anything else. And anyone who treats you less than you deserve or drains your energy isn't aligned at this current time with you. You're not waiting on the beauty of your life to reflect your internal energy anymore, though. It's really coming in. And I see this as fated. And even if relationships are falling away, your inner spirit and soul will sustain you. You have a very deep, rich soul. You are very abundant, and whatever limitations have been put on how you perceive yourself, they're going away. And this is a power you've never had before. And yeah, this is a big deal. This is really a big deal, Pile 3. It's almost as though you're walking away from the past. And you don't know where the road is headed, but you know it's going to be it's like Gandalf vibes from Lord of the Rings. You have a wisdom, and you know that wherever you're going is going to be an adventure. So, no more waiting for what you deserve. You're just going to have it in your waking life. So, let's look at your oracle cards. We have, I will ground myself more. I will walk on grass the next moment I can. This came out for Pile 1, so yeah, that way you might have messages there. We have the fault line. We have Mars. Inner peace. In the near future. And Queen. Radiates the regal feminine, uses her benevolent authority to protect others. You're going through major shifts in your life right now, Pile 3, and in the near future, I'm seeing this life is that you have always, I really feel like this is just like a completely fulfilling life. It's very close, and you're already in it to some degree, and abundance is going to keep pouring in for you, and this is in your birthright. I see that you've been through a lot of pain and difficulty in the past and conflict and really big precarious situations that were meant to break you open and turn you into this powerful star. And Spirit's really coming in to say that the experiences you've had that have toughened you up and made you into this strong person were worth it, because they are bringing you to this high level of peace and enlightenment and ascension in this life. And any conflict or disagreements or situations that you're dealing with in your waking life now, your present day life, they have purpose too, and they're meant to bring you more into your power and meant to make you set boundaries and stand up for yourself and find peace within yourself and knowing that you can rely on yourself. You might sometimes get in your head about these past events, and I see being outside in nature and meditating will be very helpful for you. Sound resonance meditations, I swear they have changed my life fully. Like, when I listen to chakra healing, it does magic on me, I swear. So I definitely recommend it. And yeah, you are just coming fully into your power and aligning with the highest of vibrations for yourself. And this satisfaction and this fulfillment's coming in sooner than you think. And I'm hearing it's already here for some of you. So the main point of this reading, Spirit's really hyping you up, that you are this star, you are this queen. Regardless of your gender identity, you are a very powerful soul. And Spirit's coming through to say what you went through was worth it, because it's bringing you to more abundance and blessing than you could ever imagine. The wheel's turning in your favor. And I'm hearing that song, Heart of Gold. Another message I'm getting is, do not lower your standards. You deserve the best of relationships. You deserve the best of experiences in life. And if people are treating you badly, it is not something you should put up with. Know your power. I really feel like watching Ella Enchanted and Enchanted could be synchronistic for you. There's definitely strong messages in there, because they were very bright souls who defied the odds and were triumphant. And I really see that you're just in a completely new cycle than you were ever in before, and you're going to have so much satisfaction and peace and harmony in this new cycle. And it really feels like the rainbow after a storm. And I feel like you'll have so much confidence and knowing in yourself that you probably won't be watching tarot readings that often, because you'll just know your power and what you bring to the table. And that I'm hearing Don't Stop Me Now by Queen. So I think you're just really going to be in the groove of your life and living in abundance and gratitude for where you're at. I think you'll be going to a big city soon, or if you live in one, that's coming up. I really see your self-respect will be reflected in the relationships around you, and I love that this card has two angels. I think you might, both those movies I was talking about, they end in romance and love, and I think you might have a divine counterpart on the way. Somebody who matches your level. And whatever fell away in the past, it was because it wasn't aligned with you. And yeah, I'm seeing do not lower your standards, and somebody who aligns with you could be coming in. I'm hearing fall, next fall. Take that as it resonates. You might already be with somebody. This is a general reading, but I do see your love life strengthening with yourself, your love for yourself, and your love with other people, because you're not taking less than you deserve, ever. So, yeah, pile 3, it was an honor to read for you. This is all I'm getting for you in this reading. Like and subscribe if you want to see more of my videos, and I will see you in another reading. Bye. Hey, File 4, if you chose the Opalite, and this is your reading all on the message meant to find you right now. So let's get into it. The first card we have is the Moon. My intuition guides me to the right decision. We have Whispers of Mother Earth, creativity, ideas, inspiration, artist, writer, channel. And then we have Copper. I'm hearing all work and no play makes Jack a dual boy, which is from The Shining, and that's a scary movie. But anyway, the message meant for you right now is that you are meant to get back to the heart and soul of why you create. I see that you are an artist. I see that you do creative work on a daily basis. And you're meant to get back to the soul of why you do this and to realize that it's bigger than you. Because I feel like you are being perfectionistic and hard on yourself about the work you're making. And Spirit's coming through to say we want to co-create with you. And the work you're making, whatever art form you're utilizing, art can be an infinite amount of things. It's creating something from the soul. And your intuition has been leading you in the right direction, and you're creating beautiful, soulful work. But the thing about being an artist in our society is that when you create something, you get fearful of, is this good enough? There's just so many insecurities that can pop up, or negative mindsets and complexes. And you're meant to get out of your mind about your creations and whatever you're doing and get back into the heart of it. Because what you do is work that is necessary for this world. And it adds color and beauty and vibrancy to this planet. And you create this, you add this color, you add this dimension, and you're meant to create your art from this inspired, beautiful place. And I feel like you might have lost your spark for it a bit, or feel pressured to please people, or really I'm seeing perfectionism and being hard on yourself here. And the reason this message is coming through to you is that you have a heart of gold, and your work matters, and you're being asked to loosen up about it and come at it from a different perspective and find ways to spark passion back into this. Because I feel like darkness and negative mindsets have clouded the work you make. And you're meant to find the beauty in it. I love how this card has fish that are connecting with the moon. I'm really feeling like an interconnected energy here, that your work has a ripple effect on this world. And you're meant to come at it from compassion for yourself and letting yourself make mistakes and not always be perfect, and allowing it to be messy. Nature's messy. It can be chaotic, but it's brilliant and it's beautiful, and it's often what inspires art. So you're being asked to ease up on yourself, be nicer to yourself about what you're making. This card talks about how sometimes this card appears when the labor of the work has gotten in the way of the pleasure of it, of the sensual expression of life and humanity. So you're being asked to come less from a logical standpoint and come from that impulsive, inspired place inside of you and do what your soul and your heart are calling you to, because you're being led in the right direction with your art. I feel like your mind might be getting in the way at times. And like I said, art can be so many things, but I can see that you have a valuable contribution to this planet that maybe sometimes your mind second guesses and gets in the way of you creating what you want to create. You have beautiful ideas. You are really co-creating with spirit and the divine, and it's bigger than just you. It really is. And I feel like that's kind of a relieving thought, because it takes less pressure off of your back, like what you're doing is important and you're a vessel for it. And egoically, your name might be tied to it, but it's so much more than that. It has so much more deeper purpose. And our minds always are going to come up with reasons that we shouldn't do this, or we should wait to do that, or we don't have enough of this material. There's an infinite amount of excuses possible. And you're being asked to just create. And copper is also connected to Aphrodite, and I really see this sensual expression and these Venusian themes here of letting yourself enjoy the process of creating and believing in yourself. And I really feel like the more you pour love into yourself and the more you realize this is a divine collaboration, the more connected you'll be to your art, and you'll enjoy the process of it rather than fearing the result. So, yeah, that's beautiful. Let's get into the tarot cards. We have the 9 of Coins, the 3 of Swords, the World, and Temperance in reverse. Pile 4, if you take anything away from this reading, the main thing Spirit wants you to know is that the world needs you. And the world needs your gifts. And this isn't meant to put pressure on you, but this is meant to clarify that your voice matters and you deserve space to shine your light in this world. And don't let anybody tell you otherwise. I feel like on this path, this is very much a yin-yang message, that there's good in the bad and there's bad in the good. And I feel like you're finding your footing here. You're feeling self-sufficient and you are really coming into your own and forming this new space for yourself where you are a fully formed, self-actualized person who is sharing your voice in some capacity. But the more it's in human nature, in our psychology, that the more we move away from the group and stand apart on our own, the more we can be subject to negative judgments, and kind of, it's like the more you individuate, the more you can be outgrouped or feel scared of negative projection. But the more you do this, the more you self-actualize and the more you convene with spirit. So there will be negative opinions and there will be negative static around. That's part of the territory of individuating. And there will be hard things that happen from this individuation, but regardless of if you individuate or not, this negative energy exists. And you are too powerful of a soul to let this stop you from showing who you are and letting the world see what you have to offer. And I think you know that you have a big effect on the world, and even like in small way, like even in a spiritual way, your light has an effect on the people around you. And I think sometimes you might get overwhelmed by having too many projects going, or too many hands in too many pots or something. That's what Spirit's channeling through me. And you're being asked to remember that it's the individual impact you have on people and the creative inspiration you give them that truly matters, to help them on their path. And to not think of it in such big terms of, if you're doing something where your art's being shared, you're not being asked to look at the numbers of how you're succeeding, what you're doing. You're being asked to look at the individual contributions you make, because numbers might help with statistics and stuff, but they are not relevant to the spiritual nature of your art. They are not relevant to the value system behind it. And to get fixated on that makes you more likely to fall into this fear of the Three of Swords. So you're meant to look at the heart of why you're doing the things you do. And the fact that you could change one person's day, that is beautiful. The fact you can make one person happier by the work you do and what you create. So Spirit's really coming in here to say that this is bigger than you, and that you underestimate your power. And there's going to be amazing things that happen with this, and amazing heights you reach, and there will also be painful experiences. But as long as you know your values and why you're doing what you're doing, those painful experiences won't matter. They're just radio static around you. And I really see you being proud of the work you do. Look at this guy with his watermelon. He's so happy that he has it. And I feel like that's how you'll feel with your art. Don't let anyone's opinions get in the way. And whenever it feels complicated or like there's too much noise, simplify it. Think of how you can help one person, or how your art impacts yourself and helps you grow and self-actualize. It doesn't have to be as complicated as your brain makes it out to be. I feel like your brain is telling you stories and narratives. Your ego is telling you stories and narratives about why you should wait to do something, or why, making you overthink your art. But it can be a lot more simple if you let it. And you have a lot to be proud of. You've really grown into a very strong individual. And our world needs individuals to separate from the community and shine their light, so that our communities can shift, and the precedent can shift, and value systems can change. This is very important. What you're doing is very important on a spiritual level, for sure. And I'm hearing something about the Ascended Masters. I would look them up. I feel like there's something for you there. And the Ascended Masters include Buddha, Mary Magdalene, Jesus, Mother Mary, Merlin, Lao Tzu. Su. I probably said that wrong, but he was the creator of Taoism. And yeah, I feel like these are important things for you. I'm not sure why, but they're being referenced. So you're meant to get back to the heart of why you do the things you do, rather than the fears. I feel like the fears have been clouding your life force. So let's look at the final oracle cards. Ooh. So we have, am I truly loving myself enough to love another person? The Creator. Spirit's like just putting cards down to double confirm the messages. Blessing. 11. Samaritan. Refines your capacity to help those you would prefer to ignore. And Success. Wow, Spirit's really coming in with a heavy hitter. When you feel like you aren't able to make this art, I feel like you are being hard on yourself and your mind's being hard on you. And to create this art, you must love yourself and come from a place of love within yourself, for yourself as you do this. There's a tenderness you're being asked to have with yourself in this process. And with the Creator card, this reiterates you. This card talks about how the Creator first must accept reality exactly as it is, and secondly must believe that there's a divine presence constantly waiting to collaborate with humans. And I see that you're being asked to follow this template, and when you have the relief of Spirit working with you, it takes a lot of stress off of your back. And I feel like maybe you're the kind of person who gets feared. You feared the ego parts of creating art. It reminds me of The Great Divorce by C.S. Lewis. There's an artist who, basically the story of The Great Divorce is a group of people. It's basically, the question of it is asking if people who were sentenced to hell, if they had a bus that went to heaven, would they choose to stay in heaven of their own volition? It's a very interesting read. It's very philosophical. And there's one person who comes from hell to heaven, who's an artist who wants to paint heaven and wants their name on everything. And I feel like you have the vibe of somebody who is scared of the ego response to having art out there and having your name on it, because you're very connected to the life force, and I feel like you would rather do it anonymously, or I feel like you are scared to have recognition and appreciation for these things because of how humanitarian you are. So you're the opposite of that artist in The Great Divorce, is what I'm trying to say. And because they made art for personal recognition, I feel like that's not how you are, but that's what you fear. And you're being reminded that the art you make is a blessing to other people and serves a very large purpose. And you worrying about that shows that you are not that way. And you are being asked not to be hard on yourself about the art you make and the praise that comes with it, because the work you do is needed. It's nourishment to the soul. And I see that you're going to be successful, and these complexes and fears you have are really just getting in your way. Basically, the message here is that Spirit wants to co-create with you, and they want you to stop limiting yourself because you have something very precious to offer this world. And the more you love yourself, the more you'll be able to pursue this path. And you deserve the recognition and appreciation you get for this. And do not fear this. You deserve this success. And you're giving people a blessing through your art, so you deserve this success in return. And you're a very beautiful soul who is very self-aware, and having this brilliant of a mind is a double-edged sword, because you create amazing things, but also you can be very hard on yourself and mean to yourself with this kind of brilliancy. So bottom line, Pile 4, create your art, have more fun with it, and know that what you're doing is God's work. So yes, you have a lot of success coming in for you too, and you're being asked to enjoy it and love on yourself, and don't get in your own way, Pile 4. So yeah, this is all I'm seeing for you. It was an honor to read for you. Like and subscribe if you want to see more of my readings, and I'll see you in another video. Take care. Bye.